As far as I'm concerned.
Check one, check two, check one, check
The only
two.
part that was over the top for me was General Easy. All that dancing
That's
coming in.
what I'm saying.
That part was
Come on,
over the
man.
top. The rest of it was cool, but that part was a little much for me.
We live this motherfucker, dog. Let's oh shit. Hey, let's talk about that shit real quick though. While we talking about it, since
Coming to America?
Since we was off camera and shit before we got out. Yes, nigga coming to America. Part 2 was good to me though. Why don't nobody like that shit?
It entertained
You
me.
said they shouldn't, or you said they shouldn't have redid it. They shouldn't touch that shit.
No, I don't think they should have touched it, man.
Fuck with it though. I don't know why.
I'm not gonna lie, like I laughed at parts.
I mean,
But
niggas acting like that shit wasn't funny at all. Though.
No, because I feel like the original Coming to America, it was kind of serious
Come on,
too.
Karan Dale. She talking about 2 was trash. It wasn't trash.
It had some drama to it. It was kind of serious.
Not true.
But like the second one, it was like they just kind of like went over the top to try to make you laugh and shit. You know what I mean? Like
I guess.
Like I said, the only part that was over top for me was General Easy walking in dancing.
why he walking like a
That was it. That was it. Aside from that, I enjoyed it.
Make that motherfucker have some dignity and shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Some dignity.
Gotta make that motherfucker like a clown. You know what I mean? Like his name, like his name Sambo or some shit. You know?
He like clown. It wasn't trash though. I can't even.
It wasn't trash, but like they shouldn't have redid it. They shouldn't have redid it.
All right, so while we talking about remakes and shit, I think we talked about this shit off camera too. The fucking Space Jam and shit, dog.
I fuck with that though, right?
Yeah.
Because again,
shit, so.
I know, because there's some critics out there. Y'all niggas is mad. Like it's made for kids.
Yeah, I swear.
It's made for kids. It ain't made for y'all grown ass. Like for real.
I think that's the part you gotta realize off rip. Like this is a kids movie, dog. It always has been a kids movie.
Always.
That's what it is.
Even for the original one, it was a kids movie.
Right.
Fucking Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig and this shit. Like for real, it's a kids movie. Come on now.
Hey, look, we just jump right in and shit real quick. Hey, we just jump right in, bro. Yo, if you chiming in right now, dog, this is the Happy Hour, bro. This is a BBW Happy Hour Beers, Bourbon, Whiskey podcast. We just got done recording a few episodes from our upcoming season of the Beers, Bourbon, Whiskey podcast. And this is what we do after the fact, dog. We do a little happy hour. You see, we got a few drinks here, man. Shout out to my guy E40 and shit. We got the Kuiper Belt right here. Ezra Brooks. We also got some Abe Lincoln, and we got a little corner of Peerless left because we've been drinking good. So this is the happy hour.
Somebody better claim that corner.
Right? Yeah, I'm about to.
Somebody better claim that corner.
I got Abe in my shit, so you can go ahead and take it and shit.
Hanging niggas.
Yeah, hanging niggas Abe and shit, dog. So we back in this thing. Thank y'all for checking us out.
Y'all watch out for houses that got big oak trees in the front, right? You probably don't want to hang out there for long, all right? Especially if you ain't strapped.
Now, Karan said that shit was horrible. She said the first one everyone loved. So she said Space Jam Part 2, it was horrible.
I don't think it was horrible. Like you was talking to opinion. I don't think it was horrible.
I haven't watched it.
You know what I think it is too? A lot of motherfuckers don't like LeBron.
Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is. Niggas don't like LeBron. You know what I mean?
That could be it.
They can not like LeBron all they want to. He just made all these parents shell out money or help him in his cause to become a billionaire. Yeah, he did what he was supposed to do. It's for the kids. It's not for y'all.
Yeah, they said
you all having nostalgia. Forget all the nostalgia. This is about your children. Is your child happy?
Right.
Did your child laugh? All right, that's all that matters. Who
Did
cares
your child stay out of your fucking hair for 2 hours and shit? Yes.
He did his job. And he made his billion. Good job, man.
All right, damn, my bad. Like I said, we just jumped all the way into shit. Let me introduce the crew real quick, dog. Got my nigga Square down here visiting. He off camera and shit, though.
Yes, sir.
Got my man Angry Principal, who's always off camera.
What's up?
My man Boy in the boy. My man Bo in the building.
Who you call my boy? Nigga?
My man, boy in the building.
My man Boy.
I say, baby, I say.
Of course, man, it's your boy Q Lewis holding it down live from the 48205, man. It's the happy hour, dog. We talking shit about everything. Low key, we got some topics that we want to talk about, but if you watching live right now, hit us in the comment box, dog, and we'll fuck with you. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about too. Because it's the happy hour, and I'm going to tell you right now, we've recorded 4 episodes of the Beers, Bourbon, Whiskey podcast.
So we got the same shit on.
We got the same shit on, but also I will not be responsible for some of the shit that come out of my mouth at this point. I'm not gonna hold you up. I've been drinking a lot.
I just think it's important to say because, like, you know, y'all gonna watch the first episode, then y'all gonna watch the 4th episode. Like, why these niggas got the same shit on? Like, for real.
I'm just gonna say that I got a different black tee on and shit. It could be different. So you don't even know. You know what I'm saying?
I own 4 of these motherfuckers.
You
and
might,
shit.
so you never know. A hella Tigers motherfucking fan. Lucky shout out to the Tigers.
Shout out to the Tigers, man. They been
just
playing
lost,
good with.
They lost 2 in a row, but they
Yeah,
had
but
won
they've been
7.
playing well lately, though.
They won 7 in a row after All-Star break. So that's
Yeah.
what's up. What was you about to say?
I was saying I'm wearing the same shit, so
Just don't nobody know, motherfucker. Hey, so now before we came on camera, though, all right. So we was talking about that shit. We was talking about sequels and shit, right? But then we was having a for real, like, serious conversation though. So let's just jump back into that shit. I'm gonna start off.
can we have a moment of silence for this dead body?
Oh,
damn.
dead body.
Hey.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Peerless, shout out to Peerless, though.
Shout out to Peerless.
I would. So it was this movie I seen right before we get to the for real topic, or topics or whatever. I was watching Empty Man, right? Y'all heard of this shit?
No.
All right, so Empty Man is like this fake ass horror movie and shit on HBO. So I thought it was gonna be scary. So I watched the motherfucker. 2 hours and 17 minutes. I want 2 hours and 17 minutes of my life back. That shit was terrible.
And we watched it on his recommendation.
Yeah.
So how you gonna watch?
I
how you gonna
recommended it
some
before I
shit?
seen it. I seen the
How you
trailer.
gonna recommend some shit you ain't seen
The
yet?
trailer looked dope. I said, damn, you should watch this shit. So then I watched it. I was like, oh, but it was too late. They had already watched it.
Niggas, boy.
That's why niggas jumped the gun. I be jumping the gun, nigga. But anyway, I said all that to say that, like, in the movie.
Can't tell him nothing about the revolution.
right. I'm jumping the gun. In the movie, they blow into a bottle, and you know how you blow into a bottle, and that's how you call Empty Man and shit. That's why I was thinking about that. So anyway, fuck all that. Back to what we talking about for real. Before we get to like that whole serious part we was talking about, I'm gonna lead into that shit by talking about this, dog. This whole motherfucking vaccine. We talking about the vaccine, COVID, and all
That's
that shit,
pretty
right?
serious too, though.
Yeah, but I'm saying we got even deeper with niggas dying because of this shit, and not because of the disease, but because they up on what's really happening. All right, so first of all, I want to say something about Candace Owens and shit, right? So she said something about how they giving away, they paying niggas to take vaccines. Like, they got lotteries and shit where you can win millions of dollars and shit.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not gonna lie, that shit is very tempting, nigga. Like, I could use millions, nigga, you know what I'm saying? So like, we trying to figure out why the fuck are they so hyped about you taking this vaccine? Like, what's really going on? And for me, it's just like, why is everything so fucking open right now? Like, dog, the shit didn't go away, and the vaccine is not stopping niggas from getting it. It's just kind of like stopping you from maybe dying and maybe like not getting the worst effects of it, but like niggas are still getting infected. So like, why is everything like 1,000% open right now and shit?
To be fair though, like, yeah, niggas are still getting infected, but to be fair, they blow up the cases where niggas that got vaccine ain't got infected. Like, that happens with any virus.
Yeah.
You know, I can throw that out there. To be fair.
Okay, so you ever bought anything for somebody and they never used it?
For sure.
Doesn't it piss you off?
Right.
The government already paid for these vaccines and people not using it.
So
that'll
pisses
piss me
them
off
off.
too.
That's
So
that
they
Christmas
like,
gift that you ain't never
you all
used and
gotta-
shit.
these government contracts were paid up front before they got the vaccines
True.
into everybody's arms.
Gotcha.
So they already got the money. We've already spent this money. You all need to take advantage of this. That's why they keep pushing it so hard, because we done spent the money already.
That makes sense.
So anybody, any kid, any parent out there who's bought something for their child and their child doesn't use it, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
And this on top of the subscription aspect too, though, right? Because they're already talking about the boosters in the fall, because this ain't gonna be enough for the next variants.
Yeah.
They
So
say the next 2 is harder and harder. So you on these now, you got 2, you gotta get the third. This ain't gonna be enough for the Delta, and then whatever else they're gonna call the other one.
Could it be a
yearly thing?
Could it be a big farmer plot just to make some more money and shit? I don't know.
Hey,
It could be. It
you
could
talk
not
about-
be. I don't know.
Talk about the presidents you were just talking about.
Oh well, yeah. So there's
That's crazy.
the various presidents, on the African continent and in Haiti, and the thing that they have in common, all these presidents have refused the vaccine for any Western power, and now all these presidents are dead. Like what's the fact check sites like Politico and all those fact check sites? They want to say there's no correlation, blah 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 blah, whatever. All right, cool. You say whatever you want, but to me, that's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
All of these cats come and like, hey, we good. We don't need your help. We'll handle this. Now all them cats dead.
Right. That shit ain't no coincidence.
So we counted 9 presidents since
9
2020.
presidents since 2020. Yeah.
Worldwide presidents that have died.
That's
and
crazy.
5
Presidents of the global majority.
And 5 of them said suspected COVID. That's deep. That's so. If you got your conspiracy theory hat on, this is one of those times. I say put that sucker on and wear it proudly.
Hey.
I don't know what's happening for real. Like Like just like right now. So you got a lot of people that's vaccinated. Like that's cool. All right. So you got vaccinated individuals, but for shit to be like so open as it is, like what exactly are they expecting though? Because I'm pretty sure, like it's not being publicized, but I'm pretty sure the numbers are still rising. I'm sure. Because it's a lot of people that's not vaccinated. All these motherfuckers not getting, so nobody getting infected now? Like, why you acting like the shit went away?
I think they're counting on herd immunity, right? So I think they're hoping for enough people to get vaccinated where, those who are not vaccinated, it won't really matter at that point, right? Yeah. Because of the herd immunity theory. But that's the thing, though. It's just a theory.
But that works in Michigan, New York, right. Some of these states that have a majority of people who've taken the vaccination.
And down in the South and shit like that.
Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi.
Well, they ain't fucking with it.
Immunity down there.
Exactly.
No one's been taking. You got less than 40% that have taken the actual vaccine.
Exactly.
So you all are wide open.
Right. And so what's gonna happen when it stopped being as warm and shit? Because I'm guessing the climate changes was like kind of stalling and shit out. So what's gonna happen in the winter?
But does it though?
I mean, so they said.
I mean, because I don't know. Like, yeah, that's what they say. But to me,
I don't know if I can believe that shit.
To me, when it's warm, I'm trying to get outside. I'm trying to congregate. I'm trying to socialize. That's when everybody's amongst each other, right? True. When it's not warm, that's when cats be like.
That's when you kind of you kind of quarantine any motherfucking way. You ain't going out any fucking way.
Yeah, y'all cats in the South, y'all do whatever, whenever and stuff. But up here in Michigan, like, we don't really come out from about November to what? Middle of March.
Probably more like April.
Right.
Easter.
Right. Easter, we might still be shoveling.
Right. Yeah, it might still be.
Might still be shoveling fucking Easter.
Yeah, I snowblowed my shit in middle of April and shit. So
I don't know where this shit is heading, but the whole issue with these motherfuckers getting or I'll say dying. I guess we can't say getting killed because that's just a
I don't know.
But
getting killed is not a bad term when the people that listen to certain news affiliates and certain radio programs all live in a certain area, and they're the ones that are dying right now. The majority of the people dying from COVID right now or getting infected are unvaccinated, and they listen to particular side of a thought process, and they stay on that side no matter what, and they don't care what you say. They're not taking it, and they're the ones that are getting sick.
True. I don't know. I don't know where all this shit headed though. It's such a period of like uncertainty though. Like I just really don't know. Look. And then also too all the let me see, how can I say that? All the other shit that's happening because of COVID, right? So this is what I'm curious too and shit. Like what's going to happen with all this loose money they're giving out? Because at some point this money don't have shit to back it. Like it ain't no gold, ain't no real estate. Like it's nothing to back this.
Not anymore. It's just reputation.
Right. So something's going to fold. Like so then what's gonna happen then? Is it gonna be the stock market? Is it gonna be some shit we invested in? Like is it gonna be the digital currency that we thought was about to take over and shit? Be the shit that collapsed? Like something's gotta collapse. Like they're giving away too much fucking money. Something's got to collapse.
So inflation's going up already because all these businesses are charging more money because they want to recoup what they lost in the last year. So inflation's going up no matter what.
Regardless.
So your cost of everything is going up. So inflation's going to affect you. You don't have a choice. You got to deal with it. Yeah. That's your first tipping point.
Gotcha.
Now after that, uneasiness in the stock market will hit somebody. And once it hits somebody, it's going to steamroll from there. Yeah. And if you haven't secured yourself in certain ways, you're gonna be in trouble.
For sure.
And it's a lot of people gonna be in trouble because right now what we're paying $3 in gas.
Man,
something like that.
And gas. I swear a couple months ago that shit was $2
At the height of the pandemic when it first started, 99 cents.
Bro, remember that shit?
But here's the thing though.
Gas.
Here's the thing. The United States has not dipped into their oil reserves not one bit. Right? They want to put that out there like shit. All right, man. Like this is. She's getting to the tipping point, we got to charge y'all more, but they haven't touched their fucking oil reserves yet. Right. You know what I mean?
Because when the shit got dirt, because when the shit got dirt cheap, they stockpiled that shit. So like when the shit got dirt cheap for us, it had already been dirt cheap.
She ain't like the trees.
Yeah, so that
she ain't like the trees.
Got the fuck up. No, so yeah, that shit already got dirt cheap for them. So Like it's all in motherfucking It's always a
Reggie, see that?
Where'd she go?
She's right over here. Yeah, she's right here.
No, I mean, I don't know what to expect, though. I guess my question is like, well, first of all, let me say this. I am excited though that this has spawned a lot of black entrepreneurs. It has spawned a lot more interest from the black community into investments, whether that be stocks, real estate, or digital, digital currency. I think it's all of that has been sparked. But I guess where I'm curious is like, where do we need to be really focusing to make sure that we don't get fucked in this? Something go crash. Something go crash. Nigga.
Get rid of
I don't know what it
capitalism.
is. Huh?
So this is unpopular opinion.
Okay.
I'm not a capitalist, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm all about redistributing wealth, right? Fucking, what do they call it? The bourgeoisie, the proletariat, whatever, Hey, I'm all about taking all that shit away from them and redistributing it to everybody, you know what I mean? I don't think that shit's ever gonna happen, at least not in my lifetime,
Right.
But the point I'm getting to is, I think a lot more people are waking up and starting to see like, hey man, these billionaires and shit, like, why these motherfuckers playing around in space? Why they doing this? Like, a lot of questions are starting to be asked, right? So that's why I think they're starting to like label a lot more, So like, the whole Black Lives Matter, movement got labeled, right? Anybody that's not black that protests against anything, they're labeled as Antifa and shit. You
Right,
know?
exactly.
They want to do this or whatever, right? This group's wants to do that. Meanwhile, you have a group of white folks that did try to take over the government and shit, and like they won't even have like the inquiry into that. Oh no, they're good old boys and girls. They're good. This and that, blah blah blah, whatever. Right? And then Texas. I'm sorry, but the whole Texas State Senate, whatnot, they're no longer going to teach about Martin Luther King or the slave experience or any type of critical race theory at all. Like, as far as they're concerned, this shit don't exist, right? But meanwhile, you got old white men like the old boy down in Alabama just saying nigga just out in public and don't have any qualms about it at all and said I'm not going to fucking apologize.
I'm not apologizing for shit.
And it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yo, that shit was crazy. That nigga say like, should he house niggas in here? Like the fuck? I'm like, so
what y'all niggas gonna do about it?
No, I mean he might as well have said that. What y'all niggas gonna do about it, dog? For real. And that's crazy what you say about Texas though. Like, how is it that you can avoid talking about all of that shit when you just literally made Juneteenth a federal holiday? So now that you are basically recognizing slavery. So now how you gonna take that part out of education? So this is what we was talking about yesterday. When I was kicking with Angry Principal, I was asking him like, I wonder how they go portray the insurgents. I think that's what we call it now. That happened in January and shit. Like, I wonder how they go frame that in the history.
Patriots. They call them what
Patriots.
they are.
Exactly what I said. I said
What they are, traitors.
That's what they are.
That's what they are.
They're going to be remembered as patriots. And
I
things
said
like
that too.
right?
I said like, dog, I swear they're gonna make it some kind of patriotic like event and shit. Like, dog, it's so not though. Like, so you go frame that in there, but then you're not gonna get a proper respect to like all of the other shit when you just made Juneteenth a federal holiday. So like, making that a federal holiday is somewhat of an admittance to what was actually going on, but you go still snatch that part out of education. Like, nigga, how can you do both? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can you do both?
You can do
States'
both.
rights.
You can do both because, all right, so Juneteenth is one piece. We'll give y'all something that happened a couple 100 years ago. But at the same time, we're going to snatch this right for you to vote away because we lost. Yeah. And instead of us trying to have a better brand or a better message to get the votes, we're just going to change the rules so that we win and you lose. Yeah. Since they're the ones in power, they get to do what they want to do. Yeah. Like they said, voting has consequences. And right now, in Texas, they vote Republican. Yeah. And these radical Republicans have decided, I'd rather you not vote than for you to have any rights that we think everyone is entitled to. It's just not going to happen.
That shit crazy.
We lost. I'm going to change the rules so I win.
Right. I mean, basically.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Hell, yeah, that's exactly what
They're doing this, trying to do this shit down in Florida, you know, all these southern states and shit, you know. I mean, not only the southern states, really, to tell the truth, you know, they having bullshit happening up in Wisconsin, you know, and even here in Michigan, like they stripped Granholm, or not with Granholm, but what's her name?
Whitmore.
Whitmer.
Big
yeah,
Gretch, right?
of her Big Gretch, of her emergency powers and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
You know, because. You know, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm
they're trying to abduct
a socialist.
that bitch.
Yeah.
They're trying to abduct her.
You know, so like, I don't really lean one way or the other, but Republicans, like, yeah, we know what they up to. The thing is, I wish more black folks would wake up to what the game that the Democrats is running on them too, right? You know, and just like Biden said the other day, it's like. Defund the police? I'm not defunding the police. What the fuck are you doing? And he answered it like, what the fuck are you talking about? Ain't shit wrong with the police, you know what I mean? Because he can't relate to that shit, man. Like, you know, even though all these black folks that went out and voted for him and all this shit and blah, 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 and this and that, you know, and Kamala Harris went on the Breakfast Club, but she don't give a fuck about y'all niggas anyway, you know? You know, but, you know, we still go out and
you know what? I'm gonna say this, and I know I'll always be trying to be the one that sound politically correct and shit. But I'm gonna say that maybe some of the individuals actually do give a fuck, but like once you get into that game, you can't give a fuck. Like you can't. Like I just
you
don't
can.
trust.
You can. You won't get certain
You won't
things.
get shit done, or you won't get certain shit.
You won't get certain things. So
it ain't no benefit.
You gotta be ready to fight. You just gotta be ready to do that fight, right? You know. So like, I mean, what hope do you have? You know, that's the whole shit that Obama ran on was hope and shit, change, and that's what I always say, hope and change. That shit's not a strategy.
You know what would have been gangster though? If we could have got a push, like with the Obama administration from like a Green Party, like if he wasn't associated with like either one of them parties, that shit would have been dope as hell. Cause that's what we need at this point. And unfortunately, like this is probably some crazy shit to look at it, a crazy way to look at it. But it's kind of the way the Nazi party took over Germany. Like we needed an extra party to give us some actual hope. Like if he could have ran on something other than Democratic, then that could have probably busted up the system, at least from the Democratic Republican
I don't think he would have though, because his agenda wasn't about helping black people. His agenda was about getting in the fucking office and shit.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't want to necessarily just help black folks.
Hey,
you know, I'm not saying that the man didn't do anything good. Like he did some good things, right?
But since you said that though, this is a question I want to pose to all of y'all. Do you think that there will ever be president, whether it be Republican, Democratic, or whatever, that can actually come in and push a black agenda?
Not unless it's from like a party that focuses on those issues. Yeah. No, I don't think it will ever be that.
What do you think, Square? Now, you think?
I think that shit is definitely possible.
Yeah.
But it's got to be that right person though.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Trump proved me. I think he proved it to everybody though. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do once you get in that shit.
Yeah,
like
but shit, even a black agenda.
But certain people can do what they want to do.
Certain people can. Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying a black person could do it, but I'm saying a white person could push it, just like Obama pushed the
gay shit.
Yeah. So I'm saying the right person could push our shit, just like they push. Like,
hey, look, so wait a minute.
Hispanic, Asians.
It's funny how you said it though.
The Asian shit though, real quick.
It's funny how you said it though. You like, I ain't said a black person, but the right person, like.
Because I doubt we gonna.
That's fucked up though, right?
I doubt we gonna get back up.
But ain't that fucked up though? Like, just think about that shit though, because that's the reality. Like that, it ain't gonna be no black person. And if you just sit back and think about that for a second, like you know in your head that it ain't gonna be a black person. That's the fucked up world we live in.
You know, just go to
hope.
Just go to.
Hey, what'd you say though? Hope ain't no motherfucking strategy.
It's not a strategy, bro. Like it's not. You know? Hope. Okay, I can hope. What now? What do I do next?
Pray. What did the guy say?
Thoughts and prayers.
Democrats are not good salespeople. Republicans are great salespeople. They know how to find a message, stick a message, and ram that shit in. Everybody says the same thing. Black Lives Matter, it's not a big deal. I mean, what you holding on to? Yeah. Black lives do matter. It's especially when you see all the evidence of people getting killed. Yeah. Why are you holding on to blue lives matter too? Blue lives are the ones that are killing the black lives.
Right.
There's a reason we're having this conversation, but the other side has decided to brand that as anarchy and trying to defund the police. Defund the police is a bad way of selling it. Yeah. If you said restructure, Whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about actually pulling in some training. But when you talk about just defund, that means you're taking the money away and everybody just lawless. The Republicans jumped on that, ran on it, and sold it to the point that now Biden can't even say restructure police because he let the argument go.
So you can get back into that concept of what Charlamagne call that shit? White fragility, which is the funniest shit ever, though. Like you said you went into a rabbit hole watching the videos, but I know y'all seen the white lady in
Victoria's Secret.
Victoria's Secret. Yo, that's comedy, bro. You see that?
But see, I got pissed with that shit though, cause you know what pissed me off is the point where she finally get up off her ass up off the floor and shit, right?
Because she laid down,
and she out there talking to the cops, and they so worried about what's going on with her. But meanwhile, this black woman that was attacked and literally chased around the fucking store.
I didn't see that.
They're like attacking her. You know what I mean? They're like,
I'm saying they showed her interaction with the police.
Like the cop was talking to this white woman, you know, and the black woman said something, and the cop looks over like, "I'll be with you in a minute. Stop." You know what I mean? Like this, right? And it's like they're all concerned about this. And old girl was right. She was like, if it was me in that situation, y'all the bed took me up out of here, right? Yeah. Meanwhile, y'all trying to find out how can I help you? What's going on? Blah, 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 with this white woman and shit, right? You know?
Damn. I didn't see the interaction with the police.
Oh, man.
I just seen
that. So Squirrel let me see this shit.
So basically, she charged that old girl like to fire on her and shit.
Took
a swing at her. But she got her on camera. So the moment she realized she's on camera, she went into victim mode. I'm talking about over the top, screaming, crying, laying down like, don't hurt me type shit. Like, it was comedy, bro. Like, I'm looking at this shit like, this cannot be real, bro. And I'm just like, but then so he went into a rabbit hole where they just kept showing all these videos. And that shit is really happening. So, like, I guess white fragility is a real thing and shit. Like, it's a real term. It's kind of like it's the offset to being wrong. Like, dog, you did some wrong shit. Like, and it's the thing that I say about black folks, though, and whenever they use the black on black crime thing, right? Because we have an issue with crime within our communities. We do. But these niggas go to jail. So there's no issue. Motherfuckers is held accountable for the crimes they do. So that's it. There's sometimes they're held more than accountable. Hell yeah, they are, exactly. Right. So
just like the shit that's going around today. Old boy got pulled over. You know, he's in the passenger seat. Mm-hmm. You know, he's smart enough to pull out his phone and start recording shit. He catches the cop throwing some drugs in his back seat. He catches the cop doing that.
Facts, yeah.
And he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing, bro? And the cop's like, what? I got you on camera. What are you talking about? What are you, like, totally, like, just lies about this shit. No, how often does that shit really happen, right?
Dog.
We know it happens a lot, but how often does that shit happen? How many niggas is in jail because of that?
Dog, real shit, though.
Like, for real.
In jail for, like, forever, nigga. Like, dog, and Dave Chappelle, man, shout out to my nigga Dave Chappelle, dog. Way back in the day when one of his first stand-ups and shit when he was doing it in DC. That nigga had that little joke with the police when they catching niggas and shit, they just sprinkle a little crack on them and shit, right? Sprinkle crack on them. That shit funny. But like they was really doing that shit, dog.
No, it wasn't. They still doing that shit.
Right. Yeah. And that's a scary thing, dog. And then you're supposed to figure out how to maneuver in these circumstances and shit, like tiptoeing though, because like I gotta make sure that this don't happen to me, but I still got to work twice as hard as the next motherfucker. This is a lot of shit to do.
Okay, so I kind of equate everything that's happened in the last year and a half to a dude that's been in prison for a while. They lose all control. They told when to go to the bathroom, when to eat, when to do this. So when they get out, you can tell they have control issues. They lash out when you tell them to do something or blah, blah, blah. They can't deal with authority. It's the same thing with white folk right now. They have never collectively been told, no, you can't do something. And in the last year and a half, they've been collectively told, no, you cannot do something. Right. And the only thing they can control is trying to control somebody else. And that's where you're getting all these Karens out here. That's where you're getting all these dudes that's trying to hem people up for silly stuff that doesn't even make sense. Yeah. But because they just so fragile, they've never been told no, they got to get that control back somehow. And that's what you're seeing right now is all these people with control issues trying to lash out.
That shit crazy.
And I didn't smoke any weed for that one.
Hey, so just like the
So that was
N-word.
straight from the heart.
Just like the N-word. That's why I say nigga so much, right? Because I really enjoy having something that they can't be a part of. You know what I mean? I love that shit, right? I can say it 100 times if I want to. You cannot say it once.
That shit when he's rapping and
Yeah,
shit.
you said the battle, right? Yeah.
No, I ain't see that shit.
So they had this little rap battle and shit.
Okay.
And old boy the black dude, he just standing there like, okay. The white dude comes up and he said something like, so I can't say nigga or whatever, blah, 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 but I'm going to say nigga. And like the black dude, just like no hesitation, just stole on him and shit. You know what I mean? No hesitation. He just stole on him. And everybody else was kind of like,
Okay.
Yeah.
man, play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, motherfucking shit.
He had that coming.
Yeah.
Dog, too funny.
So that's why I say the N-word all the time, because I love having that shit, I love having it.
Give me something.
Yeah.
Give me something I can have.
It's probably something we got that them motherfuckers cannot touch.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I enjoy that shit. Like, we finally got something they can't have, For
Hey,
real.
look, we touched on this shit real quick though about the billionaires going out of space and shit. I know me and you had this conversation about space travel and exploration and all that shit. We had a hella deep, crazy ass conversation. I looked at some videos and started listening to some podcasts that I never would have had even heard of and shit if it wasn't for Bo and shit. So I done got into like a whole nother realm with some shit. But I gotta say this, I don't think I'm that curious though. Like it's some shit, and this is where we disagree, right? So we looking at this shit. We look at this shit as like how big space is, right? And how like Earth is like, what you say, like less than 3% of like the whole.
Less than 1%.
Less than 1% of the whole motherfucking universe or some shit. And that the black matter and shit and everything.
Dark energy.
Dark energy is steadily expanding, right? So this is getting more and more every day.
But
Hold on,
expanding
equate-
into what?
Let me give you a real equation. Take 1 grain of sand, put it on your finger. Compare that. That's how big it is to the sun.
Exactly, right? So
It's that much of
Is
a
that
big
much
difference.
of yeah. So he's saying that like that exploration, like he wants to know what's out there. The ever expanding dark matter, he want to know where that shit going, where it's coming from,
So-
all that shit. So I said,
I enjoy that shit,
I
right?
don't want to know. At what point do you stop?
But here's the thing. I think it depends on your motivation, right? From where I'm coming from, it's more just about curiosity. Like, damn, is a black hole really a portal to another dimension? Or so, like I really want to know that shit, right?
Yeah.
Well, all these billionaires going to space, it's more of what the fuck is going on here on Earth and why they try to get to space so bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's
said, yeah.
that's the difference is, right? Like I'm just curious about the shit that's out there.
They
And
trying to get the
billionaires,
fuck
what are they
out.
trying to leave? You know
trying
what I
to
mean?
leave some
What are they
shit.
trying to leave? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit.
I don't know that shit. And then, so what y'all think about that shit though? About these niggas going out of space? They made it seem like it's
too, out of nowhere, bro. Like we've been going to space forever. Like for as long as we've been alive, we've been going to space.
Yeah.
But now they just going up there like, oh, we're going up in gravity. We're gonna see how it feels. You can do that out here.
Right. You
You
can,
take a
you
little
can recreate
trip
that
to
shit.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of truth to what you said the other day too, right? I think a lot of it is some of them trying to get those government contracts and things like that, right?
Government contracts.
I think that's a lot of it, right?
You remember, government contracts are guaranteed money.
Oh yeah.
Your-
Once you
that
get it,
money-
you got it.
That money's in
Once
your
you
bank
get it,
account.
you got it.
You don't care how they got the money to pay you off, but it's gonna be paid.
Right.
So Blue Origin, SpaceX, and then Virgin.
Virgin, yeah.
Virgin wants the commercial. They want people who can pay for it to pay for 2 minutes of weightlessness.
Yeah.
They want you to pay millions of dollars for that. All right, that's commercial. I understand that stuff.
Yeah, they trying to
But
make
Blue
money.
Origin and SpaceX, they trying to get the US, the British, and all these other governments to pay to use their rockets to go up and down, up and down. Why do you think these rockets are all of a sudden reusable?
Yeah. Right.
They land, they go through they.
And this wasn't a thing before.
Right.
No,
Same way
this
you
definitely
do it.
wasn't a thing
Well,
before,
they
yeah.
did it with the space shuttle, but the space shuttles were reusable.
Yeah.
The rockets were not reusable.
Right,
They had to
exactly.
be completely rebuilt.
Them is-
Now
yeah.
you have actual rockets that are being 30-point price check, just same way you would do it Ford or Chrysler GM or whatever, and then they put that sucker back in and it goes right back up, it comes right down. They put it through the check,
motherfucker-
and then it's just like a used car. They put it through.
I was just gonna say,
price
certified factory.
check, and they factory, yeah, and they're doing the same thing all the time. Government contracts, because that's guaranteed money for them.
And here's the thing too, though, like, so at what point, because all these cats, these billionaires, Branson, Bezos, Elon Musk, they're all they want to give this persona that they're on this sustainability thing too about saving the earth and all this other shit. One of the most damaging things to the earth, and I hate to say it because I enjoy, reading about space and like what's going on out there. But one of the most damaging things to the environment is traveling to space and shit. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because you poke holes in that ozone layer.
That's exactly, and that shit doesn't go away. Like it stays there. It doesn't just go. It stays there. You know?
The only way, and like you were talking about the other night, we do need to do a 3-month pause every year.
Yeah,
let the earth heal.
So randomly, this is something I was thinking about. It's, how niggas went in quarantine and shit, like they stopped you from doing shit. Shit was closing early. Motherfuckers working from home and shit. Like the earth started regenerating and shit. Like some of the water got better. Like the earth started rebuilding itself. So I was thinking like, damn, they probably should do that shit like every year. We should probably take months off anyway. Like just let this bitch fix itself. Like just imagine if you took 3 months off every year. The earth could like fix some of the shit that's wrong with it.
It could.
But like the capitalism obviously won't allow that to happen.
Capitalism is not gonna allow that to happen.
No. But like with people being off the streets and like not working, like not traveling as much and shit, like I think this shit helped. Like they gonna take a 3-month pause like every year.
It definitely
let shit close early.
Right, but every business is doing what? How can we stay operating? How can we continue to make money in this environment?
And they figured it out.
They figured it out. Delivery and just close early, nigga.
Not only that though,
niggas are still getting. So business still staying afloat.
You even look at the supply chain, like supply chains are slowed down and things like that. And you talk about a 3-month pause. People were pissed off because they were inconvenienced. Not so much that like, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to do this. They were pissed off because they were inconvenienced.
Yeah, they were told no.
Yeah,
they were told no. Right?
Exactly.
Niggas was like, shit, we can work from home.
Time out.
Yeah, time out, nigga. That's all it was. Time out.
Hey man, I'm all about that shit, but
I don't
think it's gonna ever happen.
Nah, probably not.
I was like, hey, I'll go sit in the corner. I'm good with it.
Hell yeah. I mean, like, you just figure some of this shit that we fucking up, because we fucking up shit daily just by being here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So 3 months off from, like, that should be crazy. And then even in that point, I even said this. Even with them 3 months off and shit, you can do some of this fucking road construction. Why niggas ain't on the road?
So I'm about to blow y'all mind though. Y'all ever watch Tomorrow War?
I haven't seen it.
That was good.
Oh man, that shit was so good.
I gotta watch that shit.
So these motherfucking alien invasion, right? So like all the kids and shit, like the kids from now, whatever, they're adults obviously 20 years from now. So they come back in time. They're like, hey, got an alien invasion going on. We need y'all help. We down to 500,000 people globally.
Damn.
Like we're losing this war, motherfucker. Like we need y'all help. So they start drafting motherfuckers from present time to go back to the future. Well, to go not back, but go to the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they got to do week deployments and shit like that, right?
So the draft for the future.
But the whole thing is these aliens been here for like 1,000 years.
Like been in this.
Yeah, like they say in the movie. They just appeared one day.
Yeah.
So then they do some more research and whatnot, and then they find out like these motherfuckers crashed like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And they just been here. Yeah. And like they just thawed out one day and they was like, oh shit. We about to go kill every human on this motherfucking shit.
Global warming.
Yep.
Which is what's happening, right?
Yep.
It was a good movie, man.
It was a good movie. Tomorrow War.
With a message. It had a message.
I'm about to watch that shit, bro.
The message was deep. Like, y'all messing up.
It's long as a movie, about 2.5 hours,
Yeah.
But
sounds interesting though. You think some shit like that could be happening? Hell,
fuck yeah. How did the motherfucking pyramids get perfect at every fucking angle and shit 5,000 years ago, my nigga?
Right.
Like,
hell, I can't draw a triangle right now. So.
I hate taking credit,
especially
away,
right now.
Take
credit away from the Egyptians.
I don't want to take credit away from my people and shit like that, because the Egyptians were definitely dark skinned, but.
Said they had some help, bro.
Nigga, I'm sure they had some help, my nigga. Shit.
I'm sure
they had some help.
Cause I was watching Ancient Aliens and shit. I watch that shit all the time. And I was so excited about that shit, but then niggas be like, it's taking credit away from those who done it. But I'm like, at the end of the day, like that's acting like it ain't no presence from somewhere else. It's acting like it's not. Like, no, it's got to be some other motherfucker somewhere else, nigga. Like,
I guarantee it.
It's gotta be. And I understood that, cause I'm telling you, when I first seen Ancient Aliens, that was back in 2015, I think, when I was in Colorado. So I'm on that bitch by myself getting high and shit, watching this shit, and it's the first time I ever seen it. And it's like, nigga, it blew my motherfucking mind. Like, nigga, this shit makes so much sense. Like, nigga, come down, but like, I'm hyped as hell. I call my man, shout out to my man's Kodak Lee and shit. So I'm hyped as hell. I'm on the phone with this nigga like, yeah, you ever seen that shit? He like, yeah, start laughing and shit. I'm hyped as hell. Like, yeah, nigga, so the aliens did this shit, nigga, the pyramids, like all across the globe, nigga, they lined up. They lined up with celestial shit in the sky, nigga. I'm hyped as hell, right? He like, yeah, nigga, but I'm saying though, them niggas just saying all that shit, take credit away from the black man. Like, damn, you should shut my little shit down. I'm hyped as hell. They gotta tell my whole story.
I think there's a lot of truth there on both sides.
It's the truth on both sides, but like I feel like you gotta know it's some motherfuckers somewhere else.
So
just like how we going out of space, there's some motherfuckers somewhere else going out of space.
This is what I
like,
think it
shit.
is. So anybody that watches Star Trek,
Yeah.
they know Star Trek, they had this thing called the Prime Directive. Okay, so the Prime Directive tells them that any pre-warp civilization, so if you can't travel faster than the speed of light, like we don't fuck with you. We let you be, right? Until you get to that point where you can establish that you can travel faster than the speed of light. Then we'll come down and we'll fuck with you. So my question is like, maybe that's it, right? You know, maybe we're not as technology advanced as we think we are and shit, right? Maybe aliens or whoever the fuck is out there and shit is like, them niggas still on level 1, bro.
No, right.
They still on level 1. We on level 3-8 and shit like Mario Brothers,
Right.
3-4 and shit, you know?
Go to the NASA space station feed. They have a live feed that goes
I
every
follow
day.
that shit, yeah.
So I've watched a couple videos, and there's one of the French astronauts that was up there. It was her first time up in space. She's looking out the window, and she sees something from the Earth go up and out into space, and she started screaming. She was like, "Oh no, what is that? What is that?" She was speaking in French, but you know they were trying to translate at the bottom. It's on YouTube, so just go check it out.
Okay.
So it was her first time seeing an object leave the Earth and go that far out that fast.
Yeah.
And they got it on camera,
Yeah.
but all of a sudden the NASA feed went out just like that.
Yeah.
The minute they saw that happen.
So my question
So
is-
it happened several times, but all of a sudden the feed will go out because they see an object actually leave the Earth.
So is that
Instead of
us
coming
testing
down.
shit, or is that motherfuckers leaving us?
It could be either way.
That's-
It could be either one.
You
It
know
could
what I
be
mean?
either one.
And you gotta figure if you out of space and you see some shit moving fast, that bitch moving fast.
Fast as Cause
like-
fast. Cause the Earth rotates
legitimately-
fast like a motherfucker. and
Right.
shit, you
So
know what I mean?
legitimately,
Yeah.
that shit should be moving slow, even if it's moving fast. So if you see it
something-
going fast, that bitch going hella fast.
It's to the point I had to
that bitch going to
rewind
another dimension.
I had to rewind it a couple times to catch it.
Yeah.
Because I missed it. When she started screaming, I'm like, what is she screaming about?
Yeah.
Then when I rewound it a couple times, like, oh, there it is. And you see it shooting out into space. And it's like, oh, okay, so that's what's going on.
And that's what made this curious to make you want to know.
So the
shit
coldest
with-
line ever is out of what's that movie with Jodie Foster? She had the aliens. She heard the alien radio signal.
Oh shit. I know what you're talking about.
Leave your comment. Leave the name in the comment.
Yeah.
But she said her father said if she asked, "Do you think there's other life out there?" He's like, "I hope so, because it's a great waste of space if there isn't another life form out there." And that's true. Space is gigantic. I mean, gigantic. We can't even wrap our minds around
Contact.
how big it is.
Contact.
We can't even wrap our minds around how big space
Exactly.
actually is. And you telling me all these worlds, all
There's
these
only
stars,
one life
and
organism
we're
in
the
the whole
only ones
business.
ever.
Right, yeah.
Come on now.
So that's my thing, right? You know, because you talk about, you know, NASA's on this dark energy thing now, right? And how it's expanding and it's growing and shit like that. Into what? What is it growing into?
I don't know if I want to know.
There has to be something out there for it to continue to grow. You know what I mean?
That's where I'm at.
And
I
what
don't
is it
think I wanna
growing
know.
into?
I don't think I want to know.
And that's some scary shit to think about, bro.
It is.
You know what I mean?
No,
like,
I'll
is
tell
there
you.
really some motherfuckers watching this and shit? Like, what would happen if we do this shit? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know? So like,
Nigga playing chess with us. and
yeah,
shit.
you know, I don't know. You know, I don't know. Shit.
Cause like I mentioned this shit on the show the other morning too, dog. Just on some high shit. I was watching TV and the commercial came on. I think it's an iPhone commercial or something, but it's talking about alerts and shit. You know, the Apple alarm, the ding and shit, like right. So you know when shit ding, just like anybody else, nigga. I mentioned this shit on the show. Like when your shit ding, you look at it. Like it's like what the fuck going on? It's a notification or it's an alarm. Like it's an alarm telling you to do something. I'm just like, dog, everything is basically like an alarm. Shit sets you off, sets you in motion to do something else. Just like a computer, right? So like oh shit, I just knocked something down. Like, what's the difference? Like, are we inside some kind of simulation, nigga? Like, where shit is like literally an alarm that trigger you to do shit?
Yeah, so like, is deja vu really deja vu, or is it a fucking
Or
computer
the,
glitch?
no,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's deja vu a real motherfucker.
Like, damn, that shit happened, but fool, I remember this shit happening. Like, what the fuck?
Because like, you will legitimately know what's about to happen next. Like, it's so vivid in your mind. And I don't know. See that shit? You want to know. I don't know if I want
Yeah,
to
it's
know.
like that shit. Yeah, well, I'm curious about
I
that
think
shit,
I'm
my
cool
nigga.
with just trying to figure out this shit.
It's like, I want to know, my nigga. You
Screw what
know?
you say, dog. You want to know all that extra shit? Like,
I think I got a good idea about a lot of that shit.
yeah.
But the space shit, I'm straight on because I already think
See?
they've been down here. I think they chilling.
Yeah.
I think
They in
us
this
going
bitch.
up there. I think they ready, nigga. Like we gonna get up there and they're gonna be like, okay. What y'all got? I've been watching y'all for decades, bro.
Right.
What y'all about to do? You can't even breathe up here, bro.
Right. Like, what y'all niggas want? Right, yeah.
So I'm like, y'all go ahead, bro. I'm gonna be down here chilling.
Yeah. Damn, it could
I'm
be
a
that
big
nigga.
subscriber to what corporate Cody believes.
Oh,
Like,
they
we came in contact with them motherfuckers at one point. They was like,
fuck
look,
up.
y'all niggas ain't ready for this shit. Y'all
Take your
niggas go
bitch
back
ass
to
up.
your block. Stop fucking around out here before you get fucked up until you ready to really deal with this shit, right? Like, I honestly believe that shit.
Yeah.
I think they came in contact with some motherfuckers. That shit scared the fuck out of you motherfuckers, right? Obviously, like it should, you know? And it's, okay, we gonna act like we going to space, but we ain't really going to space.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
We
I don't
gonna appease
know.
these motherfuckers down here.
Yeah,
But we gonna leave y'all niggas alone.
Right,
though.
right. So now I think that battle is being played, right?
Yeah.
These niggas up there told us to stop, but our planet is fucked up.
Yeah.
So we gotta find a way either heal our planet
Yeah.
or we gotta go somewhere else. But if we go somewhere else, these niggas is like, y'all gotta stay on your block.
Right.
You know,
Get back
so
to your block, nigga.
yeah. So you know, so what do you do?
You already fucked up your planet. You ain't gonna come
Yeah,
up no more.
you know.
Right, keep that shit over there.
So I mean, yeah. So you know, my response is like,
Gorgeous.
I gotta be ready for these niggas. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
in case they start some dumb shit, right? So you know, we always trying to weaponize every fucking thing. You know,
Facts.
it's like niggas is out here trying to weaponize the weather and shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Just,
I don't know. As somebody who just lost a tree limb, yeah, I'm a weaponizer. Global warming all the way, because man, I got some extra
Man.
work to do to go outside and cut
So
this
you got work to
motherfucker.
do. Hey, so look, another theory and shit, or a myth, or whatever it is, out there about Caucasian people being, the product of aliens and monkeys, right? So I was just saying, I don't know if y'all ever seen this, though. You ever seen that shit? You ever seen that shit?
so that, you know, yeah, Homo sapiens, you know, like 40,000 years ago, they had sex with other versions of humans that weren't really Homo sapiens yet and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of that shit that happened a long time ago that
Yeah.
obviously hasn't been recorded. But yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's
So that's the theory. So then the other night, that same night, I was high still. This is the same night as the Apple commercial. I'm watching Ancient Aliens again. If y'all ain't know, I watch that shit a lot, especially when I'm high. Shout out to Candy Trees 4201. Now she had to change her IG because she gave me some edibles that be having me fucked up. So I'm fucked up off these edibles and shit. I'm watching this shit, dog. So my man's was like talking about the people going out of space and shit, and he was like, it's human nature to want to explore. He was like, a lot of times, like, you want to explore and find your origin, right? So then I just started thinking, like, damn, is that why niggas trying to go out of space? Because, like, that's where they originated from? I was some high shit, though, right? So I see that shit, I'm like, damn, so what if these motherfuckers really is aliens? And they trying to go home? Like, maybe they really is on their ET shit. Like, they really try to explore, like, their place of origin, which is out of space somewhere.
See, I have a hard
That's some
time.
crazy
I have
shit,
a hard
right?
time with that one because if you an alien, why are you experimenting and shit? You know.
Because you have aliens.
Unless it's like, you know, you trying to give off a certain front, but like you already have the experience of traveling interstellarly, right?
Well, no,
so
I'm
why are you
saying-
trying to figure shit out?
Because you probably only partially alien, just like how some of us are only partially African and shit, right? So it's probably something in you that make you want to go back to Africa. You don't know what it is, though.
I can understand.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what it is. Like,
I
damn,
can understand that.
Something made me want to go back to Ghana and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then you got a motherfucker who from another planet. Like, damn, something making me want to go to Mars. Nigga, I don't know what this shit is.
But see,
I'm half Mars,
my nigga,
motherfucker.
I'm from 12351 Longview,
Right.
shit, right?
You don't want to go back to that
Like-
motherfucker.
No. Well, I can't go back to that because they tore that motherfucker down and shit.
Yeah, rest in
But
peace
like,
to old
yeah. But I want to know what's going on in the bars and shit. But like, I don't want to go there.
I think some of these motherfuckers got that connection to go though.
Oh hell yeah!
They want to go, and that's why I'm saying like maybe they trying to get back to that.
I need y'all to have a couple trips first before I decide to hop on that.
Now, would you go?
Would I go? Eventually, I would. Yes. And some black folks probably be like, "Man, this nigga crazy, man." But you know what? I'd go in a fucking heartbeat. I'd go because
so if the billionaires is going up and down now, they figure out a way to get you there, and they set up a civilization. You would go still.
But you know how far that shit is away, though.
I'm just saying theoretically.
Theoretically,
you would go after somebody.
Out of curiosity, yes, I would go.
I don't know
because here it is. Because if them niggas gonna be there, it's gonna be okay.
We thought that about America.
And it was okay for them.
Well, was it okay for us?
That's the question.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the question, right?
Exactly.
That's the question.
We got this bitch like, shit, they went to America, this shit must be straight. Next thing we know, we just
But here's the other thing, too,
I got to jump in with that one.
Go ahead.
Because you making the assumption we hadn't already been here. All right?
Okay.
So now you get into a whole nother conversation about where are the tall ships. And that's an argument I can have with anybody any day, because to build one boat, one slave ship, one gigantic, takes so many trees to get that many large planks and make it water worthy, that you talking about fleets and fleets of boats to come over here. And the one thing that we do around this country and this world is hold on to old shit. And you can only see 4 tall ships right now. And if you put that much construction into these tall ships, they should be all over the place. And they weren't. When Columbus got over here, what did he say? Where'd y'all get the gold from? From the guys who came over in canoes.
They've been over here already.
If you look at the old necks, they look like us. They don't look like anybody else. So we were here. We were already here. We were here before anybody even got lost in before Columbus got lost. We were already here with a civilization. Native Americans, that's us. That's not anybody else. They enslaved us. We were already here. They just happened to have gunpowder and know how to use that
Columbus,
shit. We didn't know what we were doing with that part.
This shit was proven.
And we were too trusting.
Still word, we still are.
In Columbus's motherfucking diary, his journal, he wrote down that, hey, these people are really fucking nice. Like, it's gonna be even fucking easier to conquer them.
Right.
Like, he was on that shit from jump.
Yep.
You know, like, it's in his journal. Like, you can go to Google and research this shit. Like, the whole thing was, no, we're not coming here to be nice. We're not coming here to do that. We're not coming here to cohabitate and shit.
Right.
We're coming here to take whatever the fuck y'all got.
Right.
You know, fuck y'all.
Our civilization here could not comprehend cruelty of the European civilization.
Exactly.
We could not comprehend it, never thought that it would happen. We just felt like
they saw everything was for everybody.
The earth is for everyone. Come on in. Hey, we'll help you out. You all are starving, about to die. Let me show you how to grow some corn. Thanksgiving wasn't no some wonderful little cornucopia and everybody sitting at the table enjoying a meal. Nah, y'all came over and stole some stuff and stole it real quick and real hard, and a lot of people died. And so people want to, just like they're doing with January 6th, they're trying to whitewash us out. They did the same thing with colonialism, and that's what's happening now.
They definitely are.
But we were here. We are the originals. We were in this country already. They just enslaved people who were too trusting.
Yeah. Damn, I heard that.
Plus, like I said, find me a tall ship now, a slave ship. You can't tell me they're gonna take the wood and build a house. Nah,
right?
They didn't do that all around. Those ships should still be here.
You know what?
Yes, there was an African slave trade. There absolutely was.
That obviously happened.
But the majority of the slaves came from people that were already here.
Yeah.
And I don't want y'all to. Please don't buy this narrative about these African chieftains and kings and whatever. Just off a GP sold their people into slavery, right? So what happens is they were at war with other tribes, other nations of people on the African continent. And these white folks came and said, hey, you've conquered these people. You should do this, you should do that, you should do that.
As consultants.
Right, yeah, And then as, the people that have conquered another group of people, you're like, they're not thinking about race. That's the thing about them. Africans didn't. There was no race. There was I'm from here, you're from there, right?
It wasn't.
We look like each other, but I'm from here, you're from there.
Right.
There was no race there was no black community or anything like that, right?
Gotcha.
You know, and so then these Europeans came and it just exacerbated like the tension between these groups, these nations, these tribes, whatever you want to call them, right? And so of course this is your enemy. And we're gonna take them into slavery, blah blah blah. All right, yeah, I don't give a fuck what you do. Yeah, take them motherfuckers. Yeah, take them. Yeah, and that's how this shit happened.
And we was kicking their ass anyway.
So So when you talk about this shit that like black people sold other black people into slavery, yeah, I'm sure there were some black slavers out there. I'm not trying to deny that.
Yeah, because they was all black people.
But I'm saying the narrative was put out there by white men, right? This is what needs to happen, right? You've conquered these people. You know, they no longer really exist. They're no longer people. We can do whatever we want with them. They're your prisoners. So, hey, we're gonna give you 25 guns, and we're gonna take these 300 people.
All right.
Okay, cool. Take them.
That shit seems suspect as fuck to me, though, right? Just because I think about, so picture you, or just picture us. Mm-hmm. We on our continent. Picture Africa, right? And even say we beefed out. Just picture like Bloods, Crips.
Yeah.
If the cops come in, we probably
together.
gonna still team up.
Yeah.
Especially because we speak the same language. Like they coming from somewhere else, they don't even speak the same language.
Well,
I
shit.
understand how they.
A lot of them motherfuckers don't speak the same language though.
Here's
No, I'm saying, but just say like we at least look alike though.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like us now versus Africans in that situation.
Facts.
Because they coming from over there and all these other places, like you think about Haiti, where they brought like French and they brought their language. You know what I'm saying? You even think about Mexico, like the Latin, you know what I'm saying, Spanish or whatever, how they came in and played. Like those was Mexicans prior to, but now they speak Spanish or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that get me is I would think that we wouldn't have been like, even if we was beefed out, we gonna team up to take these dudes out. I'm not gonna give up you just because we beefed out because I don't know what the fuck he's saying to me. He looked like a ghost to me though.
Right.
Like I don't
know this nigga.
Right. On boats. And maybe the gunpowder like tricked them too. Like maybe it's like witchcraft to them or something. Like maybe they had like, we'll show you how to shoot.
True.
And we'll show you how to take out your enemy or some shit. Like maybe they like gave them some shit like that to convince them. But I'm just like, damn, that shit's crazy.
Well, that's what they was talking about in the tyrant shit though too.
We'll show you how to.
Was like making your enemy my enemy too. So now you more likely to fuck with me.
But see, you know what? That's a great point that you bring up, right? And that's one thing that the white man has like gotten. He's perfect at doing now, right? Is submitting discord between similar groups, right?
Thanks.
So you have, let's just say you have Ghana, which they weren't referred to as Ghana back in the day. You know, they had their different names or whatever. You have Nigeria or whatever, right? They might be at war with each other, you know, but this is all they've experienced, right? So then you have this other group of people that comes in and they're white. They look nothing like us, but they're bringing us technology. They're bringing us more things to vanquish our enemies and shit, right? So they're on our side, right? So whatever, you know, gods we believe in or whatever it may be, you know, they're helping us take care of our enemies, right? So when we do conquer our enemies, they helped us. We need to reward them, you know,
right.
But that's the thing I get at. Like they don't have that concept of the international slave trade. They didn't know that was going on. You know, they didn't know that their enemies was being subjugated like to the level they were, right? And they didn't really know they were being used. They just thought like, hey, these people came out of nowhere, they're helping us, you know? And knowing back then, you know, it could be, they thought they were gods, they thought they were whatever, you know, they thought they were a omen, whatever it could be.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But it wasn't any black community then. It was, I'm from here, you're from there.
It's tribal.
We're fighting each other, right? You're my enemy, you know? And then, obviously, you know, the white man comes and they see that and they exacerbate that shit. Like, yeah, that's your enemy. They fucked up, blah, 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 this and that, and blah, blah, all this other shit.
They
you know
made
what I mean?
race a thing.
Yeah. They made a division, you know? And then at a certain point, you know, I wrote a paper on this, you know, not long ago. And at a certain point, they found all these different tribal leaders or whatever that were more concerned about holding on to power than necessarily building a nation, right? So they appeased to that, you know. Hey, you want to conquer your enemies? I got you.
Yeah.
You know, we can do the X, Y, and Z, but this is what I need you to do.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I can conquer my enemies. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Not realizing you get fucked in the process.
Exactly. Not realizing that this white man that showed up, they taking your enemies and they taking your people, and then eventually they gonna take you too and shit. You know,
They eventually,
but you don't know that shit at the time. You know,
yeah. Damn, this is a serious ass conversation, boy.
And they still think that way today.
Exactly.
Has not changed
That
at all.
hasn't changed
Exactly.
at all.
Has not
Not
changed.
one
That
bit.
cruelty, we still can't comprehend that kind of cruelty.
Yeah.
We'll be cruel to each other, but not to another race.
Bro, I say that shit to my man, Son of Liberty and shit. They always be commenting in the morning and shit. Cause we was having this conversation about selling out, right? So I'm just saying that, like, basically whatever your moral compass is, whatever you feel like you going into some shit, you not gonna do that shit. But then for whatever reason, whether it be money or whatever it is that you being offered, that you rest on your laurels and shit. Like, you know what, I'm gonna do this shit anyway, regardless of my moral compass, right? So Son of Liberty, which is a white dude from Cadillac, Michigan, he mentioned that already. Said he resides in Cedar Rapids, Iowa now. And he said that basically he was saying like that it ain't selling out, it's just doing what you gotta do for, you know, for your needs and your family, whatever. So I was just saying, like, in real life, that's the reality of white men in America anyway. There is no compass of selling out because it ain't no such thing. They are always going to do whatever it takes to do whatever, regardless if that means getting rid of their morals or whatever. So I was like, that's why it's always funny to me when they be calling black people savage. Like, white people are the most savage motherfuckers on earth. They don't give a fuck.
Well, history proves that.
Right, exactly. They don't give a fuck who get fucked in the process as long as they get what they want. So that you won't have an idea
The
of what selling out is.
colonialization period.
Exactly.
They literally had a meeting to chop up Africa to say, hey, you can have this, you can have that, you can have this, and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, these motherfuckers was chopping off hands of Africans, sending them back, saying like, hey, you know, we keeping these motherfuckers in line. Like, this is proof that we're keeping them in line. Like,
That's savagery.
yeah, that's savagery.
So when you call us savages, it's funny because it's like, bro, they are the biggest savages on Earth, or probably outer space too. And shit.
They're the global minority.
Exactly, dog. Yeah. All right, man. I don't even know if I was ready for this conversation, dog. Y'all niggas ready to wrap this shit up?
Real quick, there was a pirate queen in Asia. You know, I know when we think about pirates, we always think about the Caribbean.
Facts.
But there was a pirate queen in Asia. Pirate queen, first of all, which is fucking crazy as hell. And she ruled from like something like 1760 to like 1810 or whatever. She ruled to like well into her 70s and shit, right? But she controlled like something like 40,000 ships, you know. And her main thing was that, like, hey, I'm fighting against all these motherfuckers that don't look like me that came in here.
Yeah.
But the Chinese government at the time was fighting against her because these motherfuckers that don't look like us bringing us all this new shit, and we like this new shit. So stop attacking these motherfuckers because we want more new shit, right? You know, so what's the balance? Like, I understand trade and things like that. Like, yes, your economy needs to flow, right? But at one point, do you stop that shit saying, hey, we're losing our identity, we're losing who the fuck we are, blah, 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 whatever.
Right.
Don't bring that shit over here no more, right?
Right. Keep that shit over here.
But here's the thing. They went after her like 100 times more savagely than they did the East Indian Trading Company or any other British, you know, that was out there and shit, right? You know, because they were conditioned to like, hey, they're holding you back. This person is, you know, is holding you from advancing and shit, even though they're fighting for your independence, for these motherfuckers to go to fuck back where they're from, to leave us alone so we can do our own shit. Right. So yeah, they've been playing that game since fucking day one, man. Yeah. And they still like Amy Principal said, they still playing that game, pitting us against each other all the fucking time.
Hell yeah, still happening. What's crazy though is like we know it and acknowledge it and shit. So now it's just like, what you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? What can we do?
And that's right. And that's the thing. We get to a point like what can we do? You know, except vote, my nigga. Like, no, I'm not trying to bash on voting, but like it's got to a point where that's what we think. That's all we can do. Right. It's like, oh shit. Well, it's fucked up for right now. I guess I just gotta wait for 4
because just like you said with them chopping hands off and sending them motherfuckers back and shit. Right. I hate to go back to that because I hate that visual. But then you just start thinking about that shit, and it's like, you trying to figure out what you can do, but there's been so many examples set for motherfuckers who tried to bug the system that damn, you start being like, fuck, we can't do this because they gonna do that.
And now all of a sudden,
they go, you know what I'm saying?
You got, all of a sudden, you got a group of people who have been the most savage in history telling you that you've got to be political and democratic about things now. Right?
Right.
Like, hold up. Y'all motherfuckers just like wiped out like millions of people and shit, right?
Right.
I don't know, man.
It's tough, nigga. It's tough. It's
not. But to me, it's not tough. It's just, it's frustrating.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know, because how do you change the shit, right? So we've got so many people now, like we can't resort to violence at all. We've got to figure this shit out peacefully.
Yeah.
And like the controlling majority, they're okay with that. Y'all can try to figure shit out peacefully.
Yeah.
Y'all can do that shit all you want to, because no matter what y'all do, we always gonna control this shit, because we got the money and we got the power and whatever. Yeah. Right? So.
And then you gotta keep in mind that while you trying to resolve shit peacefully, none of this shit was formed peacefully. You know what I'm saying? None of it. Nothing was formed peacefully.
All this shit was settled by force.
One no peace treaty that started none of this
shit.
Savagery, nigga.
You know, it may have been peaceful, but it may have been some shit like, all right, I won't fuck you up if you join me. All right, my nigga, I'll join you then. Right. Yes, that was peaceful, but I gave up everything I knew to join you, so we wouldn't have to fight.
Right.
Right. So yes, it's peaceful, but it's not peaceful.
The threat of violence was there.
Exactly.
Shit, right.
I know that if I don't do this shit, y'all gonna fuck me up and shit, right? Because I got arrows and spears, and you got these motherfucking rifles and fucking cannons and everything else and shit.
That's the Trail of Tears right there.
Yeah.
That's them walking from parts of the country out to these reservations, walking them out while they cried the whole way. That's why they call it the Trail of Tears.
And the thing
they
is,
said we can either be wiped out or we can go somewhere they tell us to go to.
I'm gonna say one more thing, and I'm gonna shut the fuck up because I've been talking a lot, right? I was at my homeboy's wedding not long ago, and you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
And there's a white dude there, and he was saying shit from his experience. I'm like, I get that shit. Yeah, white people get in trouble with the law and shit like that, and blah 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 whatever. Just because that shit happens, it doesn't mean systematic racism doesn't exist, right? And so this motherfucker is trying to tell me that, like, oh no, I've been in trouble with the law. I've done this. I've done that, right? So like we are all on the same level playing field. Well, that's not it at all.
And where I tried to intervene was like where he was saying about how he kept getting arrested and shit. And it's my, that's my dude and shit. Like, I fuck with him.
It's not my dude. I don't fuck with him.
I fuck with him. But like, you just know that the experiences is different. So, but no, I'm saying,
what if he's watching right now? That just is the funniest thing I've ever heard.
I hope you are watching right now, Brad. Fuck you.
Shit I've ever heard.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Sounds like my nigga B-Rad and shit, right? So, B-Rad is like, he not. Well, let's put it like this. He not one of the white privileged people, but he still don't have.
Classifying it though.
Wait a minute,
he thinks that way though.
Wait a minute.
My bad.
But
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
He tries to identify with. He tried to identify with us, and he's not able to identify. So while he's trying to explain how he thinks he's identified, he's really not. And that's cool. Like, he caught in one of the positions where he feel like I'm just like y'all, but he's not.
But at least he having a conversation, which most people don't.
But he wasn't trying to have a conversation though.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to the bathroom, but I'm still gonna say, goddamn.
The subject came up, y'all talked about it. That's a conversation.
We talked about it,
which is more than what happens in most cases.
So this is where I try to intervene. Where he was saying like, where he was like, I'm getting in trouble, I'm going to jail, and shit like this. I was saying where I was intervening was like, but see, that's your luxury. That is your privilege that you can be in certain situations and expect to go to jail. Bitch, I'm trying to at least get to jail. I'm trying not to die, nigga. Like, this is where it's different. This is where it's different. He wasn't understanding it. I'm like, dog, so yeah, you got in this situation, you got arrested. Like, nigga, we get into lesser situations and don't ever make it to jail. Nigga, this is what I'm talking about. Like, if you can't identify to that, like, I was talking, shout out to my squad in Colorado, dog. I love them. They some old white people and shit. And they cool, and they always trying to figure out, like, cause they don't know. They honestly don't know. They ain't have to experience this shit. But I'm telling them, like, how when I left from Colorado and shit, like, this is something that you don't have to do as a white person, and this is privilege whether you want to accept it or not. When I left Colorado, nigga, I looked at the time and I timed out the time in between, and I really traveled in conjunction with the time of day. Nigga, like I really traveled so I wouldn't be in certain places at night.
Downtown and shit.
Nigga, like white people ain't gotta think about that shit. Like nigga, that's privilege. So I'm telling them that, and they just like they taken aback. Like they were like, wow, like you really gotta think about
That's
that. Like
bad scheduling on your part, bro.
this is shit. But they can't empathize because they don't know. But they was like, damn, like I shedded some light to their ass and shit. Cause like, dog, I really have to see like, damn, am I gonna be in the backwoods of Missouri when the sun down? I need to leave at this time.
See, that's
so I
the
can skip
battle I
that
fight,
shit.
right? So like, when does it stop being my responsibility to educate you? You know what I mean? You're the one that's fucked up. You're the one that's got to find the education. It's not my responsibility to educate you anymore, right? Because I know there's so many white folks out there. Well, tell me this and do this.
But I'd rather them get the education from me than themselves. Because they gonna keep teaching themselves the same lie.
You know what? But here's my thing about that, right? So we've been explaining shit to you for so fucking long, for forever. Like, no, motherfucker, it's on you to change this shit now. It's not on me to come up with a solution, right? It's not on the oppressed to come up with a solution. It's on y'all motherfuckers, right? Y'all gotta stop and look at white supremacy. That's all taking place all over this fucking planet due to colonization and shit, right?
Facts.
You know, and come up with a way to fucking stop that shit, right? But the thing is this, right? They don't want to.
Right,
they don't want to.
Because at the end of the
Because
day,
we're on top. Why should we want to stop this shit?
Exactly. At the end of the day, who wants to relinquish power? Nigga?
Exactly.
At the end of the day,
That's what it comes down to.
So then we get back to that same question. What do we do, nigga? we back to this motherfucker now.
No, it's not a question though. It's not a question. It's more of a thing of comfortability.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody knows what the fuck you got to do.
Yeah.
You got to fight. That's how it's always been.
You got to fight and take shit.
But you know, white supremacy has conditioned the global majority to feel like I need to do this peacefully. I need to do this democratically. Blah 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 blah. Even though they didn't do anything like that at all, like nothing even close to that.
Then it go back to white fragility.
But they want you to do that shit because that's the system or whatever. Because they know you can't succeed in their system.
Because the moment that you do,
that's simply it.
The moment that you do, then they're a victim.
Then you get January 6th. Because we succeeded in their system. And that pissed them off. So, shit, we got to change the rules now. Because they winning and we losing.
No, just like, this is probably a bad analogy, but I always use it. But just like when OJ won. I say he won. When he didn't get convicted and shit, all of a sudden.
He won. But he won.
All of a sudden, the motherfucking laws got to be changed. Bitch, we've been telling y'all this the whole time. We've been telling y'all the whole time the justice system was fucked up. But now you realize it because OJ got off? The fuck out of here. Right? All right, man, we done, dog. I'm about to go eat some pizza, nigga.
I hadn't celebrated that hard in a while.
We was hyping
until that.
You know what? That's what we gonna do on the way out, dog. We're gonna talk about that shit real quick, and then it's gonna be our last conversation, dog.
All right.
Do you remember where you was at?
All right.
Where you got the OJ?
I'm on Tuskegee's campus.
Damn.
It's 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Everybody said, forget it. I'm not going to class the rest of the day. I'm going to watch the birdie.
Facts.
I run back to my apartment. My roommate, he comes in. We sitting there watching on my TV. They said not guilty. We start celebrating. We hugging each other.
Like a motherfucker, right?
We
Real
doing
shit.
everything. I mean, we were going off. I saw a video a little later of the TU student union celebrating big time. I hate I wasn't there. I should have been there instead of my apartment.
Yeah.
Everybody in my apartment complex comes outside into the parking lot celebrating, jumping up, down, screaming. He did it. He did it. He got away with it. He got away with it. We everywhere. Then you see on the national news, Howard, Morehouse,
everywhere.
Everybody's student unions. They celebrating. They jumping up and down. They hugging each other. It was
real shit.
One of the biggest celebration days I've ever.
Bro, that shit was like
had in
that was like a draft
life.
party at somebody's family house, nigga.
Never have I had that much fun. It was just an hour of celebration, but he did it. He did it, and not a single professor was going off on us because we skipped class that day.
Dog, real shit.
No one, because they were sitting at their houses
doing
watching it, or in their office watching it on TV, doing the same thing.
Dog,
everybody got
shit.
a pass that day, and that's the black college experience. I can give you that much.
Damn, real shit, dog. Square, you remember where you was at, dog? We got that shit.
Nah, man, I don't take it to a dark place, dog. I just thought about the other shit, dog, because I'm like, that shit was hype for us, but I'm just thinking about the shit, how many times that they was hype on our behalf.
On our behalf, yeah.
On the other shit, yeah. Like, first thing I thought about was Emmett Till, because I just saw. Like,
Facts.
pictures.
It's his birthday a couple days ago.
Yeah. So I just thought about that shit. So I'm like, as excited as we was about that shit, that's how they was taking that shit.
Every
But
time.
they thought that was real. Like, cause even when I think about us, like, okay, we was geek because he got off with that shit. But at the same, OJ wasn't for us, dog. He didn't think he was us, dog.
He still doesn't think he was.
He still don't.
He still
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, I'm saying, so it wouldn't. It'd be different if that had been like somebody we.
A nigga you fuck with for real.
Yeah.
Motherfucking Master P or some
Master P
shit.
or some shit, right, yeah.
Fucking P.
Kappa
Diddy or
niggas some shit, right, yeah.
What do you say? I'm not black. I'm OJ.
I'm OJ, right.
But we was hype as fuck for that.
He
though.
meant that shit. He meant that shit, yeah.
It was
Oh,
crazy
damn,
on
you-
some real
damn.
shit though. Like on some real.
You put a bumper on that motherfucking square shit, huh?
But I was hyped though. You know,
Right,
I
I was hyped, though.
just look back now, like damn, like we was hyped for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. I mean, we was hyped for the right reasons, but then in comparison to the overall, it's like, okay, you get your little 30 seconds.
I don't think it was
Like,
hype for the wrong reasons and shit. But
Yeah, that's why
it's
I think it's the right reason, but in the capacity of the whole thing,
we just never
it's
seen
minor.
a black man go up against
The United
white
States
America
Justice- yeah, the
and fucking
Justice
win and
and
shit,
win.
you know?
And defended by a black dude.
Yeah, so that's just like,
That was
goddamn,
major.
like,
That was
okay,
major.
yeah,
Johnny Cocker
Yeah.
was my nigga though, for sure.
you know?
Damn, that
If
was
the glove
major.
doesn't fit.
So like,
you
even
must
though this
quit.
motherfucker was guilty, like you saw the racist shit that happened during the trial to try to paint this motherfucker like he was guilty, and that's my opinion. I still think OJ did the shit, right? Because
He did it, but
you know, but still,
I am not going to say that OJ did it.
OJ told me he did that shit. Man.
because he came out with a video. What if I did
I'm not
do
gonna
it?
say he did it, but I am going to say that the overly racist and the overly like the overabundance of them trying to make sure that he was guilty is what made him win. Like they was doing way too much and shit to try to.
that's the thing, you know.
So that's what killed it. So I'm not gonna say that he did it. I'm never gonna say
They
that.
didn't approach it from a standpoint of like we need to convict this motherfucker.
No.
They approached it from a standpoint of like we
gonna
need to
lynch
make a
his
lesson
ass.
out of this
We gonna
motherfucker
lynch
and
his
shit,
ass.
right?
Yeah, we gonna lynch
and like they missed a whole lot of shit along the way legally
By
and shit.
doing that.
Obviously,
So that
right?
was the start of you taking any high-profile black person and teaching a lesson on their conviction. Kilpatrick, you name any high-profile celebrity, R. Kelly right now, because he's doing the same shit Hugh Hefner was doing, but he's going through it right now. So the minute OJ got away,
Deshaun Watson.
any black
and Ben
celebrity,
Roethlisberger done raped about fucking 20 bitches out here and
Boy,
shit,
Ben
right? And Ben Roethlisberger still throwing passes on Sunday. Now,
at
you know,
this
Deshaun
point-
Watson, this shit questionable as fuck. And they want to lynch this motherfucker, man. Like, for real?
At this
Jeez.
point, I don't even know if Ben fuck bitches regularly. I think he rape every bitch he knows.
Ben Roethlisberger he always in some trouble about raping somebody and
Hell
shit.
yeah.
Like always, like every season and shit. Like
Oh,
Ben
yeah.
Roethlisberger rape allegations and shit. Like no, there's not allegations anymore. This shit has happened 5 seasons in a row.
Right.
That shit is true. He raped them bitches.
He's a habitual raper.
He's a habitual raper and shit now. Okay. Get that motherfucker out the league.
And married.
And married. And he married.
Habitual raper.
Shit.
all Deshaun Watson got was a massage.
We about to get banned off of
That's different.
everything.
Deshaun Watson go to a rub and tug shack, get his little shit rubbed and tugged, and all of a sudden now, this motherfucker is a fucking Hitler and shit all of a sudden, right?
Oh, shit,
No
dog.
team should want to pick him up. No team should want to do this. He did the same shit Robert Kraft did. And what the fuck happened to Robert Kraft?
Got off.
Oh, you know, yeah, you know.
He just an old man trying to get rocked.
He had to
He
get
got rubbed and tugged.
Shit. What the fuck? The shit's so obvious, man. You know, I'm just saying.
I was. What fuck is on you anyway, dog? You remember where you was at? We got that.
Yeah, when
the
OJ got
verdict.
sentenced, man, yeah, I was fucking. We still living on fucking Longview and shit, you know, before the house got torn down and shit. I'm running around the fucking house and shit. Pops is like, shut the fuck up, because I want to hear this shit, you know. So I
Right.
shut the fuck up, whatever, you know. Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. And he's like, goddamn. He's like, hell yeah, right?
Yeah, it was
But
like
I remember
ridiculous.
Pops. Like, Pops kept shit real. And he was like, that motherfucker still think he white. You know, like, right after the
Let's
shit.
not forget.
Like, right after the shit. He still think he white. You know, he still think he white. Like, even, you know, so like, yeah, you know, it's,
Say, let's not forget.
yeah, you know, so be careful, you know.
Yeah.
Cats, you know, especially black folks, you know, because we've been so marginalized, we get up into like, damn, black folk, he's doing well. He must be on some good shit, blah, 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 this and that, blah, you know. And, you know, just like with Obama. Like, and again, I don't want to take no, I I don't want to take anything away from him. He did some good shit, right?
Yeah.
He did some good shit, but like overall, like he didn't do a lot of shit for Black Americans. You know?
Overall, our agenda is never pushed. So yeah, I get that part. I think when I was at school and shit when I got the shit. We was Martin Luther King Junior Senior High School, the best high school in the city. But we was there and we was at lunch, bro. And I'm talking about best high school in the city. Definitely not Renaissance.
They had coaches D1 now. I'm just saying.
Oh,
And Thomas Wilshire from Gas Tech. He worked for
he went to
Michigan State.
Renaissance.
He worked for Michigan State now, though.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's fine. I mean, our head coach dead and shit, so I don't know. Anyway.
All his proteges there, though.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Coach Red,
His
man. That's my
proteges
guy.
there, though.
But we was there, though. I remember, shout out to my nigga Tremaine, dog. Shit was funny, like the week leading up and shit. This nigga had a notebook and said free OJ and shit on the back of that bitch. But anyway, we was at lunch and shit.
OJ don't give a fuck about none of these niggas out here.
Not at all. Not at all.
None of these niggas.
Nobody in the
What's your
city.
name, little man?
Right, you know what I'm saying? Nobody that even look like us. He don't give a no shits. But we was in that bitch always in lunch, and for whatever reason, like you said, they was just allowing niggas to come in the lunchroom like, fuck it, we about to watch the verdict. And I'm talking about high school, dog. When you in the lunchroom, nigga, it's chaos in that bitch. This was the only time that niggas was quiet. Like they cut the TVs on, niggas was quiet, like you could hear a pin drop in that bitch. And we watched that motherfucking dog, and I ain't gonna lie, I felt like we had won the motherfucking Mega Millions or something. Nigga, we won. Like,
Finally.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah.
it's crazy. Like, I guess because
That's how fucked up the shit is out
that's how
here,
fucked
man.
up it is.
Yeah.
That's how fucked up it is. And see, and I wasn't old enough. I wasn't old enough to really receive the verdict in LA and shit for the riots and shit. I wasn't really old enough to like for that shit to impact me though, cause I can't even imagine being an adult and seeing these motherfuckers on tape kicking dog ass and shit. No matter if he was a crackhead or whatever he was on and shit. Seeing that shit on tape and seeing all four of these motherfuckers get acquitted, I couldn't imagine being an adult like getting that news, nigga. I think, like, if we'd have had that.
Imagine being in that neighborhood and shit.
Exactly.
You know,
Knowing that
like,
that's what
the
these niggas
fuck?
do all the time.
Yeah.
You know that's what they do all the
You
time.
know it.
And you like, damn, they finally got a call on
damn.
tape. We got him and shit. And we ain't got him.
And them niggas get off.
Hell yeah. So that's why OJ was like, nigga, it was a win. It was a win, nigga. It was like, that was bigger than Obama, nigga, getting the
I mean, it was a win, but the nigga did the shit though. You know?
Right, this for you.
Yeah, it was a win.
Little nigga. All y'all little niggas blind.
Just like Trump's homeboy. I mean, he still got to face trial, but he got out of jail. Supposedly he had no bail, right? This nigga said, "Hey, I'll put up $250 million," and then guess what? All right, nigga.
Right, all right,
We'll let
yeah.
your ass out of jail. You can wear a monitoring device and you good.
Yeah.
If you got enough money, nigga, like
You can
you
get out of
good,
shit.
right?
Yeah.
This nigga's he's clear. They got so much evidence against this motherfucker, right? Like so much.
So much.
Like you ain't even really had to go to trial. Like you know this nigga did this shit, you know? But he can give you $250 million. It's like, oh, okay, put this ankle bracelet on.
Right.
You good.
That we not really gonna monitor.
And then this niggas they got cash bail that been in jail for fucking forever ain't did shit. Ain't did not one goddamn thing. Just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And them niggas still in jail.
Facts.
This country's so fucking racist, man, you know, and they hate to admit that they don't want to. Even Kamala Harris said, no, this is not a racist country, you know? And all y'all niggas that voted for that bitch, like for real, y'all voted for her and shit, you know?
I did.
I
did.
Man,
I did.
my niggas, like, do some research, find some other motherfuckers. Like, let's find some other shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, voting for the lesser of two evils is still motherfucking evil, bro. I don't give a fuck. Like, where he at, Biden obviously don't like us. He obviously don't like us, right? That motherfucker, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. He said that shit because that's what we were saying to each other and shit. You can't vote for Trump. If you vote for Trump, you this and you. No, Trump is fucked up. Goddamn right. Nobody should have ever had vote for Trump. White folks, black folks, red folks, green folks. Nobody should have voted for that motherfucker.
Human beings
should not have voted for that motherfucker, right? But we get to this mind frame. It's like we accept shit that's under the motherfucking radar because we don't want this shit.
Yeah.
I don't want that. So even
So I
though
take
he
this.
don't meet the bar, I'm gonna vote for him because I don't want that shit.
Yeah.
And like, we gotta do better, bro. Like for real. Like, we gotta think more than 50 meters in front of our fucking face. We gotta start looking at the 300 meter target, the 500 meter target, the 750 meter target and shit, right? Because when we continue to look at that shit that's close to us, even though I know that's reality, and I know a lot of niggas can't look past, you know, a lot of niggas is living right now. I get that. I understand that shit.
Circumstances provides them that.
Yeah, but sometimes we gotta pause, nigga, time out, and think about the shit long range.
Yeah.
And when we don't think about shit long range, you get caught up in this little short fucking propaganda game and shit. You know what I mean? So again, this is all my opinion and shit. You know,
Yeah,
I've been wrong, I've been fucked up, and blah blah blah, whatever. But
I feel you though. And I guess my next we about to get out of here, so I can go eat some pizza. But I think just piggybacking off of that and shit and just ended it off. I just need some pizza in my life. But I think the next step after that is figuring out what to do with those votes then. Like, so let's say we don't vote for the lesser two evils, then like where do we put them? Or
do
we
research.
vote at all?
We gotta do research.
Just find somebody else.
I can't tell y'all, man. Like honestly, like that shit is gotta be like self-motivated. You gotta. My situation's fucked up. I want to find the best motherfucker that can get me out my situation. It's not always who NBC or ABC or CBS tell you who the motherfucker's gonna be.
Sure.
Sometimes you gotta pull out motherfucking Google and like
Figure out.
and figure that shit out for yourself, for your goddamn self. You can't always just pull up a motherfucking, oh, this is who they should actually vote. Because a lot of times you only being given this shit that looks good. You know, and none of the shit that you know, if you do this, this is what's gonna happen 3 years down the road. Like that's the type of research we gotta do, right?
Yeah.
We gotta stop looking for right now and start looking, okay, if I do vote for this motherfucker, what's gonna happen 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the road, right?
Yeah.
How is this gonna impact us and all that type of shit?
Yeah, because legitimately they could be in there for 8 years.
Yeah, but niggas
So you
is-
gotta look
Yeah.
to see what's gonna happen.
Niggas is like offensive coordinators. For real. Offensive coordinator he can win every motherfucking game if he's patient and he throws 5-yard speed outs and shit.
Gotcha.
He can work his way down the field and win every motherfucking game. The thing that happens, you get impatient. You're
Yeah.
like, fuck. Yeah, we beat him on the speed out, but I think we can beat him on the 9 route, man. Let's start throwing on fucking 9 routes. Incomplete pass, incomplete pass, incomplete pass, punt, incomplete pass, incomplete pass, incomplete pass, punt. Like, damn.
That didn't work.
That didn't work. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. You know what I mean? So, just gotta really look at the game, man. Like, how are they trying to come at us and stop trying to think of fucking short-term, like, fast solutions? Like, that's just not gonna happen, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have to take a couple L's before you get a W. That's just how shit rolls, right? It's gonna be some setbacks.
And when you say taking L's, I can almost equate that to possibly, you know, back in the Green Party representative. Let's just use that as an example. So let's say we put all our votes behind this person, and our votes only end up being, you know, a few percents or whatever. So yeah, that may look like an L, but eventually over time, maybe that'll put us in position to actually start pushing the person that we want,
Right.
as opposed to.
Or maybe what happened is somebody they endorsed, you know, wins at a local level. They become mayor of this town,
Yeah.
you know, or county commissioner of this town,
Yeah.
you know, or whatever,
Yeah.
right? You can't always have the grand prize. Sometimes that shit needs baby steps, right? You know what I
I
mean?
get you on that. Yeah.
Fuck.
I feel you.
We had somebody with baby steps, but he got impatient. And then all of a sudden,
Talking
his
about Kwame.
arrogance
Yeah, Kwame.
caused him to wind up in jail.
Shout out to Kwame though. Just got married yesterday.
I fuck with Kwame though, man.
I fuck
Like,
with Kwame too. First,
like from a policy perspective, that motherfucker was on point.
yeah,
But he was just trying to get paid at the same time. And shit,
He was,
you know?
like you said, he was impatient.
Yeah, he was
impatient.
impatient.
He was impatient.
Shit.
And we're about to get out of here for real. I gotta mention this though. So Kwame just got married yesterday, and shit. He started his life all over and shit, though. I'm curious, like, what the fuck do y'all want from this nigga, bro? Like, he done went to jail. He done served more time than he probably should have for the shit he did. He got out. He's starting his life over. He got a new wife. Nigga, he trying to do his life.
They don't
Why
want
the
shit.
fuck is y'all mad? Leave
They
that
don't want
nigga
shit.
alone, bro.
White folks mad because he's a black man.
Bro, leave him alone.
He's
He
a
just-
black man
He
that
living his life.
They exploited the system and shit, and he got away with it for
A little
for
bit.
a point.
Yeah, for a point. Yeah.
That's all
serve
it
some
is.
time.
That's all it
He's
is.
trying to live his life.
That
Let
shit
the
happen to
nigga
white
live.
politicians all the time. All the
Exactly.
time.
Let the nigga live, bro.
Rob Blagojevich, the motherfucking senator from Illinois and shit.
That tried to sell Obama's
He sold a motherfucking
Well,
seat.
he sold it,
He
yeah.
sold it.
Yeah, he
And
did
he
try.
still
He
got
did
voted
sell
back
it.
in office and shit. You know what I mean?
Facts. Yes, he did.
Like that shit happens.
Right.
It was just motherfuckers are more critical based on how a motherfucker look or where he from.
Always.
Than like what actually good can he do.
Yeah.
Your heroes ain't gonna be perfect. Simple as that.
Never.
Your heroes are not gonna be. This ain't a comic book. Your heroes are not gonna be fucking perfect, man.
Never.
You gotta accept the bad with the good.
Yeah.
You know. Sometimes a motherfucker that like he might have said fag or blah 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 or whatever.
Right.
You know,
Niggas still
but he
good
might
for
be
policy.
the best motherfucking advocate for the LGBTQ community and
Right.
shit. You know.
Never know.
Who knows? That's it. Stop giving motherfuckers like one chance and shit. You know, we're human. We fuck up sometimes.
For sure.
You know?
On that note, dog, we up out here, dog. This is a good ass conversation, though. Could go on for hours and shit, but it ain't. So we out of this motherfucker, dog. I want to shout out to all the people that check us out live. Make sure that you do check out the YouTube channel. Subscribe so that you get a notification every time we go live. Beers, Bourbon, Whiskey Podcast, Episode 1, Season 5 will be available Wednesday night, eblockradio.com. Make sure you tune in. We talking about the Kuiper Belt.
Y'all niggas get on that shit. I'm gonna come to see you and shit. Get on that shit, goddammit.
Fuck
Get on that
right.
shit. I'm gonna come to see you.
Just like that. On that note, we
I ain't
about
no
this
easy
bitch,
win,
man.
nigga. No easy win, my nigga.
You already know what it is, man. Beers, bourbon, whiskey, man. Everybody loves BBW, man. We about this thing, dog. I got my man Angry Principal one last time in the building.
Damn, that's good. Bourbon Guild on IG.
For sure, man. My man Square over here chilling with a little bit of beard.
Yes, sir.
My man Bo holding it down.
Ashe.
And of course, man, it's your boy Q Lewis holding it down live from the 48205, man. We up out here, dog. Peace out, y'all. Hey, that was a good combo, though, for real, for real.